I wasn't quite ready, but I just had to push play on this adorable moment of this dude wondering, how the heck am I supposed to jump up here with you on this thing? I don't get it. I'm going to sort of balance on it like I'm a circus performer, but I don't get how I can cuddle with you on it. It is not making any sense to me. So he's just being adorable. Like, please help me understand the ball and how I can join you on it. So hey, hi. Oh my, I have this pet peeve about not liking to do my poems in the same location twice, but who cares? I don't know. It's like, maybe I'll worry more about that shit when I get monetized. But for right now, it's kind of like, why would you stress about that? But I am a little upset. I'm here in the same location I was yesterday, but with a crazy fabulous shirt of Richard Simmons. Ooh, 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 ooh. Squeeze your buns. Squeeze your buns. Squeeze your buns. Squeeze your buns. I was going to go outside in the beautiful sunshine of the day, but the second that I got myself ready, I also have to point out that I'm wearing these hysterical shoes that I think enacted like a lot of class action lawsuits. Like, people rolled their ankles on them a lot. Very popular in the early 2000s. They are like curved, and they, their whole marketing campaign was like, we'll make your butt amazing with these weird rounded shoes. And then people were like injuring themselves profoundly. So I still have a pair. Woo! I don't dare like go on a long walk in them, but just seems like a bit of a collector's item. It's hard to sit in a way that gives Richard the respect he's due. Yeah, this shirt came back to me recently. I'm not mad about it. It was re-gifted to me by my best friend. I gifted it to her. We both endlessly love Mr. Richard Simmons. And I've bought her many of his workout videos. But she is moving soon and trying to, par down, wean out a lot of her stuff, get rid of stuff. She's moving into just an all-new clean space, and, she's just not as flashy as she once was. Shedding a little tear about that. But I, however, have not grown up or exited my flashy weirdo phase at all. So I'll just continue to bounce on the bouncy ball of life. And so she gifted this back to me, and, I wasn't upset. I wasn't hurt. It's like, either you're gonna wear a Richard Simmons shirt down the street, or you're not. And that's okay if you're just not in a place where that's going to enter your day-to-day. Again, as I said, very hard to sit in a way that demonstrates who this poem is about. But I just, it came back into my life. I've been digging through the archives of a lot of my older poetry, and I actually, sometime this week, I will thread this all together and do a poem about it. But, whoo! I found a poem that had been written similarly, but chunks changed at different time periods in a different frame, duality brain. Whoa. I was literally tripping out trying to follow my own thought process and be like, Goddess bless it, where am I going with this? What the HE double am I even talking about here? So I was trying to get clear on that mess of the past, and couldn't really get it in a cohesive way. So I thought, well, okay, kind of running out of steam here. We're almost there. We're almost there. And I'm still daring to bare my soul on a daily basis. So it's just like, okay, how can I face this? What am I gonna, and this was draped over the couch, and I was like, you know what? That's it. That's what I'm gonna write about today. So this is one of my VHSs in my collection. Stretch into the classics. You betcha. Beautiful. Look at him. He's like oh my God, Parrish. He's like a Samuel Parrish painting. Just beautiful. From the tips of your fingers to those 10 little toes, I'll get rid of your aches, your pain, and your woes. Yes! Amazing. He's just beautiful. I don't know. Just miss him a lot. So, obviously, if you know anything about Richard Simmons, he has kind of reached his limits, evidently, with public life and being in the public eye. So he said goodbye without actually saying goodbye. So a lot of people thought he'd, like, been kidnapped or held hostage or something, or like, what happened to Richard? And all of his people who have followed his career were, like, in fear, like, where'd you go? You just vanished. So, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Hold on. Felt a sneeze coming on. Now someone's calling me that I really don't want to talk to, and so just multiple distractions. But I thought I was going to sneeze. Maybe it'll come back in a second. Oh boy. Okay. So what I was going to say is that I was going to do this outside in the sunshine because that seemed like just a proper place to get the sun rays on Richard Simmons' face. But as always, whenever I try to go outside to do my poem, someone in the neighborhood is on that home and lawn care in a really aggressive and loud fashion. So I did a whole ass poem about this recently, that it's like my neighborhood obsession with leaves is hard to believe. It is scary, almost, in fact. It's like, no leaf shall remain intact. Attack every leaf you see. Get them away from me. No nature in this yard. So it's been going on for about an hour, and it's just them power tools and them loud sounds. So that just wasn't going to work. So here I am, back in the same location. Forgive me, but I'm back in the same location with a bouncy ball and Richard Simmons to top it all off. So, okay, I did my poem for him today, and here it is now, presently. Here we go. It's called Dear Richard. Oh, Richard, you stirred motivation in millions. In your dolphin shorts of red and cerulean, you helped people win against their food and self-hatred addictions. Your own depiction of transformation was not without its painful revelations, but your concentration on the positive and what you did to change seemed strange to a country trying so hard to act cool or being cruel to themselves and others. You recovered from years of eating yourself nearly to death. You described the depths of your habits honestly. The way you'd see any food and grab it. The tragic way you hid wrappers so as not to display the unhealthy items you'd buy from multiple stores a day. Born and raised as Milton Teagle, you soon had a say in the fact that it just didn't feel like your name. You felt it didn't contain any of your presence, and in essence was too stern a name for such a rainbow unable to be contained. You later reigned as the fitness business extraordinaire. But the reason I think you did this so well was because you cared so much, not because you had some Midas touch or financial savvy. Sadly, you would later describe the devotion you had to your tribe of followers as all-consuming. There was always a looming concern of how the hearts and minds were holding up inside the bodies whose extra weight you helped burn. You tried to return every sentiment and letter of thanks. But as your success skyrocketed and your energy was yanked on more and more, how could you help but ignore some of those 20,000 plus letters? You tried so earnestly to make people's lives better. You are and were an absolute trendsetter, a go-getter who seemed always to be gifted with an uplifter demeanor, and a make the grass greener right where you stand and dance mentality, offering second chances to so many who felt they didn't have any reason to go on. But when the cameras were gone, You still called 30 to 40 of those devoted family, because you couldn't stand them being called fans, and took it into your own hands to stand by them beyond the shimmer of the spotlight. At the height of your fame, you maintained it had never been a quest for money, and said in your sincere way, "The day I don't love any of this, I'll walk away." And walk away you did. Many still say you hid yourself from all of us. Many didn't trust your abrupt exit and thought perhaps you were being held against your will. You just vanishing was too hard a pill for many to swallow. So people followed the very rustling of your window blinds until you released a statement saying you were fine and simply wanted to be left alone. And there you stay, inside your home. Not alone, but I must imagine lonely still. Your shrill and bubbling pitch is something your fans are just itching for. At your core, I believe you are quiet and reserved. You deserve the fame you achieved because you so firmly believed in what you were striving for. I can't ignore the ache it must have made you feel to deal with what you described as people who turned to you, who seemed so depressed that they don't see any rainbows in their life, and for whom the inner fight seemed impossible to reignite. You turned your comment somewhat bright by saying you'd try to walk away and pet your dog and play some music. But I imagine when someone says you're the only one they can turn to, it's tough to refuse it. That calling. The people who get up but somehow just keep falling back down and try to drown their sorrows with food or any other manner of addiction they know has subdued their light. You lit up those tight, short shorts and leotards and worked so hard to heal your own scars and the scars and wounds of others. I found it fascinating that your mother was a New Orleans fan dancer. It answered a lot about where you got your flair from. I imagine you hearing those ever-present drums in the French Quarter and letting the music be a transporter of sorts to feel your feet pull towards your destiny. But you, like me, are an overly empathetic entity. You once described yourself as hugging more people than the Pope did. Did the pain of all those people soak into you? Is that why you got rid of your public persona and asked to be left completely alone? No more checking in on the phone. No more joyous tones of laughter and relief as people joined you and remembered how to move their feet. I think your admirers, myself included, felt a sense of deep sadness to see you retreat. You were among a short list of celebrities I always really wanted to meet. I imagine I won't get that chance. As you relax in your Dalmatian patterned seat and hopefully still dance in your living room, but without the booming music and cheers. Without the buzzing crowds who held you so dear, whom you allowed to get so close to you despite your fragile spirit and obvious fears. You switched their gears from stuck to shifting. You were notorious for gifting lavishly. I can say I have that same habit and see how it can start to feel one-sided. No more stars invited over, no more paparazzi pics. I know the heaviness of the world can stick to a person like you. For a time, I think you grew from all the attention, but despite your best intentions, I think the bombardment of the public eventually made you shy away. You had this to say about those people who couldn't imagine a better day. I'll tell you, it's hard. I take it all very personally. I'm just that kind of a guy. I work real hard to make people laugh and to make them think. That can cause our hearts to sink when all that effort and pink sequins still doesn't deepen the amount of good that stands out. I wish I could stand at your window and shout, "You are still loved! How about one more hug?" But I wouldn't want to bug you. I don't know what, if anything, will get through to you from this chaotic world out here. I'm afraid it isn't really clear to me how I would describe the changes in reality since you decided it was better to hide then open yourself to all the unknowns. Many people have become drones to avoid the overly annoyed masses and the scary facets of a world in flux. People will do and say the meanest things to get a few bucks. With any luck, we'll find a way to start grooving again and hug our friends rather than sending our energy and life forces into our digital devices. That sure would be nice. We've paid a price for turning away from real connection. It seems a smaller and smaller section of the population still remembers how to do that. Sometimes I can't combat my own anxiety about leaving the house at all. I don't want to fall into a pattern where I turn away from the world at large. I want to take charge and wear bright colors and barge into every space with a glow on my face and hope in my heart. But sometimes things feel so messy, I just don't know where to start. I do know that once you choose to part ways with many people, the calm it provides is often equal to the longing inside. Your life has been a wild ride, and I don't fault you for getting dizzy on it and wanting to just sit and recover for a bit. But I do admit to missing you too. I don't know you, but I do. Maybe you could just give us all a little clue that you're still you in there. We really do care about how you're doing. It's impossible when viewing a life from the outside in to know what's really swimming in someone else's thoughts. But if you did ever want to just wave hello, I know a whole lot of people would breathe a sigh of joy. I think of you as a young boy with your leg twisted, but knowing all the while that you were gifted with a brightness you could bless others with. And you did spread those gifts abundantly. I'm sure you often felt the pain of being rejected, but you didn't let it turn you dark. You maintained your spark. I think of your quote, "Everyone in this world is somehow connected, so why not just be nice to everybody?" Sounds easy, but so few people see to doing it regularly. But you did, making millions of people feel like they were worth it. Another quote of yours I love is, "No one is perfect. Absolutely no one. Like precious stones, we have a few flaws. But why focus on that? Focus on what you like about yourself, and that will bring you happiness and peace." So my wish for you is that you are indeed heeding your own advice, being nice to yourself, reflecting on the wealth of good you've given to others. I hope that you have that peace and can recover from whatever steered your rudder away from us and out of the sun of our love for you. But I'm still squeezing my buns and being true to your brilliant formula for self-care and fun. So that's it. I left a little fun facts at the end that I didn't squeeze in, like squeezing my buns. I just thought this was a great outfit. So these are like sunglasses shorts. And then my best friend also just gave me this that she didn't want anymore. But I had forgotten that Richard Simmons voiced the aerobics instructor. And it looks like him. I mean, the character looks like him. But I just kind of forgot about it. But yeah, he played the aerobics instructor on Rocko's Modern Life. So what a great achievement is that, right? Squeeze those buns, have more fun, squeeze your buns. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought a really sweet fact about him was that he loved Dalmatians. He always had Dalmatians. And he said when he was out traveling, he would call his Dalmatians on the phone and sing to them goodnight when he was gone. So freaking sweet. And I wove in there how he was like a lavish gifter. And apparently, I don't know if this is like urban legend or real, but apparently he bought a diamond ring for Barbra Streisand at Tiffany's and she returned it. It's like, ooh, burn. Why, Barbara? Keep it. Like, you don't need money. Just keep the ring. Not sure what that was about. But anyway, he just he had a lot to shout about joyfully. And I just love these little pictures at the bottom of him. This little pink. That was one of his best outfits, I think. So, yeah, kind of kind of sad. Kind of makes me sad. You can't come up here. It's not a thing you can do. You can have all the Richard Simmons determination you want. I mean, maybe you could. Try it. Try it. Be a circus dog. Come here. You can do it. Try it. Try it out. Come on. Richard Simmons determination. Come on. You can do it. Ooh, look at that. He can do it. Woohoo! Oh my gosh, this was such a joyous, triumphant moment. Richard would be proud. Neither of us believed he could do it. For a minute, I was like, it's too bouncy. It's too slippery. And look at that. He found a way. He found a way. Hooray! He found a way. He squeezed his buns of determination and jumped right up. Woohoo! What a good pup. So, yeah, keep sweating to the 80s. Keep stretching to the classics. I hope that, I don't know, he hasn't passed it by, the world that loves him so. I hope that he can come back and say hello sometime. Because I know he's on a lot of people's minds, you know. It's a pretty weird thing. They like all celebrity stories, they talked about it incessantly for like weeks, and then it was just like, okay, on to the next thing. I guess he's just going to stay in his house. And I don't know, something about that just makes me sad. So I'm glad that he spread his rainbow energy. We need more of that. People are operating on some really dull frequencies. You know, it's like, what's the thing? What's a boring person? Oh, there's so many of them to choose from. In a world of bachelorette contestants, be a Richard. You know. In a world of Instagram influencers, be a Richard. So that's what I strive for. That energy that's like, I will not turn down my dial. I will not turn down my volume. I will be voluminous and luminous and bright. And I think it's funny that often my rainbow maker right there rarely works. Even when the sun is shining right on it, it doesn't work very often. And the lighting's not like perfect for you to see it, but there's rainbows spinning around this room right now. So that feels like a good sign to me. That feels like a good end button, a good end note. There's definitely some rainbow magic swirling around me. So keep your buns squeezed. Get sleep. Give yourself love. Don't focus on the flaws in the precious gem that you are. Just be a bun squeezing star. Right? That's right. Okay. Bye-bye.